Peace, everybody, and welcome to a new week. We are in the Ten of Spades week as we are getting ready to wrap up this year. It is the first week of December, and this week falls as a Ten of Spades week. And it started yesterday, December 1st, and will go until December 7th on Sunday. So, what do we know about the Ten of Spades? Well, they call it the workaholic card in the cards because it can feel like, oh my God, I'm working and I'm working and I'm working and I'm working. And that's not a bad thing because the beauty of this energy is how much you can accomplish, right? It's a very determined energy. It's a very accomplished energy. It's a very strong energy of expansion, of increase, as all tens are. And since it's a spade, it's a lot about the experience and the work that we're willing to put into things. It also can be a very strong card of health, maybe getting back to like a health regimen since we all just came off a holiday week, right? And maybe we weren't as healthy. And now this week we want to get back to it. We want to feel stronger. We want to really put forth this energy into something where we can accomplish and be very determined. Those are some of the key words that this Ten of Spades can bring. You just got to be careful of not like taking on too much work and not resting. Like there's got to be that balance. And sometimes this energy can overdo it. Just like all the tens, they can try to get too much attention, try to take over things in spaces. So this is more when we look at 10, it's the one, the I, the me, the self, and the zero, the higher self. So it's like your ability to expand, your ability to accomplish, your ability to, succeed, and seeing how strong you are. So let's look at the 10 of spades on the plate. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. And you can see the Ten of Spades sits right here, right smack dab here. And this is the Mercury line. So the Ten of Spades is Mercury, right? And then this is the Jupiter line. So the Ten of Spades sits Mercury, Jupiter. So there can be an increase of communications, an increase of even travel, an increase of health, like we talked about. And that's what that Jupiter energy is going to do. It's going to expand. So again, whatever you're willing to put forth any effort into, you really can increase your rewards, increase your blessings, increase the accomplishments. Now, Mercury, we have to be mindful because it can be very fast. It can be very quick. It can be very, that short distance travel. Funny enough, I've seen, a few accidents this week. So pay attention while you're traveling since we are kind of coming from this Mercury line, right? And we also have a full moon in Gemini, Mercury, in this week. So how appropriate. So there can be a focus on information, knowing something could come to the light, something you didn't know could be exposed this week with this full moon, a light being shined upon it, right? And it's just really to expand your awareness into what is playing out, right? So let's look at the Ten of Spades and its little box here. Its supporting karma card is the Queen of Hearts. So there is a lot of love in this energy. I do find this to be a very family orientated card. They do really love their family. They sometimes either come from big families, have big families, want big families. But again, it's that work home life balance because they are the workaholic card. They will work to support their family, but sometimes there can be that disconnect with family because they're constantly at work, right? But there is a lot of love here. There can be some complacency, some delusion, but it is to be of service, right? That's a big part of that queen, is to be of service. So they're here to maybe serve their family, serve the ones they love, but really also not forgetting to serve and love themselves as well. The Four of Hearts is their challenging karma card, another very strong family card, right? And really building something solid, building something emotionally secure. And again, finding that work home life balance, which sometimes the Ten of Spades can struggle with because I must succeed. I must, accomplish. I must provide. But at the same time, it's like, what's important to you, right? Having that family, having that stability, having that security, or having that success. Can you have both? Right? And sometimes I feel like the Ten of Spades, they can struggle with those choices and like, okay, I need to accomplish and I need to do this. But at the same time, sometimes the family, the emotions, the heart can be a challenge to really get in touch with, right? Now, their Mercury card is the Five of Clubs. So again, that mental energy, right? They're being able to adapt. Now, this makes them super intelligent because their mind is open. They may be very open to different perspectives, learn multiple different things, like learn a language and then learn another language, or, focus on this academic, but then want to learn something else. And this kind of makes their mind constantly in motion, so it may be hard for them to settle, right? They may be anxious, they may be nervous, they may be, constantly in their head. And again, they have to find that balance of like that mind and that heart space. And especially since this is Mercury, their mind is constantly moving. So that may be why we see some accidents this week, because you might be driving, but are you really paying attention? Are you thinking about the whole, shopping list of things you have to do this week and not really being in that moment of driving? So slow down, take your time, but also be open to different perspectives. Again, full moon in Gemini, there may be a light shining in on some kind of information that we needed to know. This makes them very curious, very inquisitive, very exploratory, very even spontaneous, and you may get some ghosting. People could poof, disappear with these fives that they have in this spread, especially with the Five of Clubs being their Mercury card. And again, they could be easily distracted. So it is kind of trying to get yourself back on track, right? Now, their Venus card is the Three of Diamonds. So there is this like sometimes uncertainty in relationships, or there could be some financial drains due to relationships, having to make decisions. And again, could even feel like they're being spread thin, like, okay, money over here, money here. It's like Ed Bundy in Married with Children, where they come and tap him on his shoulder. And so he just keeps giving money. You may see that this week too with that energy. But again, being generous and not worrying about money, they can always create different avenues to make more money. And they can actually have success in multiple different areas with this Three of Diamonds, getting very creative in business, being able to see different options, different avenues, but more importantly, like being able to trust their ability to make the right decisions. But this also can make relationships where you're like, you kind of teeter tatter between multiple different options, or it may be hard to kind of settle into one area. And again, it's just like finding that balance, right? Now, their Mars card. This is probably one of the most powerful places to have the Ace of Spades in Mars. It's very driven, very determined, like super strong, very ambitious, very motivated to pursue, right? And because it's Mars and because it's the Ace of Spades, the low side is it can be impatient. It can be bold. It can be abrupt. It can be intense. But it also gives them that like guts and that will to really like accomplish whatever they set forth as a goal. And they don't need anybody else to kind of, be a part of that puzzle. They can really take on a lot on their own. And one, again, very physically fit. One of the best things with this energy is like moving the body, lifting weights, boxing, whatever you do, swim, having that outlet is going to be key. If not, it can explode because that Ace of Spades has a lot of energy and they just need like a healthy outlet. Again, you'll find Ten of Spades competitive. They like to win. They're not going to lose. They will do what it takes to win, especially with this Ace of Spades in Mars. So how can you use that this week, right? How can you do what it takes to win without like obviously trampling over other people in the process? But at the same time, this will show you like how strong you are, what you're capable of, how far your ambitiousness and your drive and but also the integrity too, because we know with the Ace of Spades, the low side, it can be secretive, things hidden, they may have a double life that you don't even know about, right? Because of that Ace of Spades. So they have to be honest with themselves as well, because remember, it's that one and that higher self with that 10. So if they want to really have, the world that they desire, they really have to take an honest look at themselves and their goals and what it is, why they're pursuing things that they're pursuing. But this Ace of Spades, like, move your body this week, really find that great outlet that you can, put that energy into. It's phenomenal. Their Jupiter card is the Seven of Hearts. So there is this desire of like love, unconditional love, spiritual love, But the key with this Seven of Hearts is you can't be attached to outcomes. And it is very much about like seeing people as they really are. If they're showing you who they are, believe them. Don't try to fix them. Don't try to save them. Like allow them to be who they are, and then you can be who you are, and then you can go from there, right? That Seven of Hearts is very much about opening up the heart, seeing yourself as the source of all the love inside, and not having to look outside of yourself to be satisfied in any kind of way, and really giving that love also unconditionally. It is very much about like rooting out any attachments, any fears, any abandonment issues, any wounds that may, and remember, Jupiter is going to expand it. So if you are triggered, if you are feeling low in that space, like really do the work internally. See yourself as the source of all that love within. What someone does or doesn't do is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them, right? And not taking things too personally with that Seven of Hearts, especially in Jupiter. But when that Ten of Spades really opens their heart, especially with this Queen of Hearts and Four of Hearts, that love can be immense and beautiful and all-encompassing, and really a very special thing, because again, it's a very powerful love card, and it's in Jupiter for them. So I think they do love big, but sometimes there can be that reservation of like, do I really want to be vulnerable? Do I really want to open my heart to something, right? And so it is about really not having any fear and having faith in love. Now, their Saturn card is the Seven of Diamonds, and we know this as the Millionaire's card. So yes, the Ten of Spades can be very successful, but again, kind of the same thing with that Seven of Hearts. See yourself as the source. I always say, millionaires don't have a broke mindset, because if they did, they would be broke, right? You can win the lottery, but if you live in a lack mind, a scarcity mind, you will probably lose that money, because internally you're operating and moving and spending and investing from a space of fear or lack. And when the Ten of Spades really sees the power of that Seven of Diamonds and finds everything to be grateful for, and that's a big part of these two sevens, the more that they operate from this space of gratitude and appreciation for what they do have right now in this moment, they really do open up themselves for the universe to really pour in the blessings to them. And they can very much succeed. But sometimes, again, with these ace and these sevens, there's this like, on to the next. What's next? I need more, and rather missing out on what you have in the moment, right? And then, again, you're always constantly seeking more. And with this Seven of Diamonds being in Saturn, very much is about appreciating what you have, staying in the moment, be willing to, again, see yourself as the source, as the plug of the wealth, of the abundance, of the prosperity, and not look outside of yourself. And yes, you will probably have to spend money, invest money, but the key is to be grateful and appreciative that you even have it to spend it, and knowing and believing and having faith that whatever is going out is coming back in even better, right? Now, their Uranus card is the Five of Spades. So remember, their Mercury was a 5, and now their Uranus is the 5. So they kind of are like out there in their own little world sometimes, right? And easily can be distracted, and they're constantly going through change. And because we have 2 5s in this spread, this is not like light work. Like, it can be abrupt. It can be explosive. It can be intense. And sometimes you have to be able to just pivot, to be able to adapt, to be able to like take that hit and keep it moving, right? Now, that's a big part of those 5s. But there's also this like wanderer, adventurer, seeker, traveler, gypsy energy, especially with their mind and their health, and being open to different remedies or different ways of doing things, really seeing things from different possibilities. But because this 5 of Spades is in Uranus, and we're all collectively under this energy, like, be able to pivot, be able to adapt, be able to adjust. Things can pop off suddenly, out of the blue, unexpectedly. And we just have to be able to keep it fluid, keep it moving, go with the flow. Again, things can change like that with that 5 of Spades. And that's another thing too, that 10 of Spades deals with on a regular basis, right? So if you are a 10 of Spades, those 5s are really telling to your energy and why you may move the way you do, or disappear and, come back and spin the block, or whatever it may be, because of those 5s. And again, there is this sense of like wandering and seeking, but sometimes, again, it really does help when you stay in the moment, see what you actually have in front of you, and not always looking for, something more, and really appreciate what it is that you do have, right? And then it opens up the door for more to come, right? Now, their Neptune card is the Jack of Hearts. So there is this lover inside of them, right? And they do tend to want to, again, take care of, be of service, help in some way. And it kind of goes with that Seven of Hearts, loving selflessly, giving selflessly, and really kind of rising up in that power of love. I think for the Ten of Spades, because it is work, 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 that are you really like kind of putting that love to the back burner and really seeing that you have so much love inside of you to give, and really, pour, not just pouring into others, but also really pouring into yourself. I always say with the Jack of Hearts, it's very much about like, you got to put that oxygen mask on yourself first, because how can you save or rescue or anybody if you can't breathe, right? So that Ten of Spades is also learning how to pour into themselves, because they are kind of for the family, the unit, whatever it may be, and taking care of everybody else and having to work to succeed. It's like, don't forget to pour into yourself, don't forget to love yourself, don't forget to give, like, take care of that heart. Now, their Pluto card is the Nine of Clubs. So again, when we're looking at this spread with these fives and these sevens and these all odd numbers for the most part, like that's a lot of like kind of a roller coaster ride, right? And with this Nine of Clubs, again, a nine in Pluto is not easy. It can represent like endings, completions, graduations, fulfillments, but they're kind of like graduating from their old mental beliefs or old mental programmings that really don't suit them anymore. And maybe these are programmings from past family, whatever, other people's projections, other people's fears, that they have to realize like, maybe this doesn't serve me. Maybe this isn't good for me. Maybe I need to let this go. And so we all, last week was that Nine of Spades week. This week we're at Ten of Spades. The Nine of Spades, these nines are not gone. The Nine of Clubs is the Pluto. The Nine of Spades is the result card. So there is this sense of like freeing yourself, surrendering, releasing, letting go, shedding that skin and feeling lighter. Like if it doesn't serve you, if it's not good for you, why are we holding on to it? Why are we letting it drag us, right? And with this Nine of Clubs in Pluto and a Nine of Spades as a result card, it really is freeing when you just let go. And also too, remember, it's not just endings. It could be cycles of things coming, cycles of things leaving. Either way, it's actually teaching you to not be attached, because as quickly as it can come, it quickly can go. And it's just saying, maybe this is what you needed in this moment, but it doesn't serve you anymore, so I can let this go, right? So try not to be attached. Try to kind of free yourself from expectations and disappointments and whatever may be showing up, and really shed the skin. But also don't forget the power of no. Right. And I think sometimes because this Ten of Spades has such an obligation to like family and work, they may struggle with the no. But when they really invoke the no of the Nine of Spades, it's protecting them and saying, yes, I want to give, but right now I have to, take care of myself. I can't do it right now, and not feel guilty about that. Right. So that's their result card to that Nine of Clubs in Pluto. Pretty intense energy this week. So again, take it easy. I know it's not an easy energy, because it really does want to accomplish a lot of work getting done. But also don't forget boundaries. Be careful of going overboard, going, to the nines, if you will, and then depleting yourself and exhausting yourself, for no reason. Cosmic lesson is the Two of Hearts. So they're learning about relationships. They're learning about love, that balance. Again, this, they with these two hearts here and this desire to achieve, it's like, don't forget love is just as important as work. Don't forget love and relationships are just as important, right? And you're learning to connect, and you're learning to not have like fears. You're learning, that's a Lover's card. Ten of Spades, it desires love, whether they admit it or not. There is this strong desire to connect, but you're learning how to express yourself. You're learning how to love without fear, without control, without lack, without, giving your power away either. Like really embracing partnership and communications and cooperation, and really coming together in that big love space. And then the cosmic moon is the King of Hearts. So there is this fierce protector energy I feel like they have, both the men and the women. Like when if they love you, they will. It's a very protective energy. The King of Hearts is a father card. So they really take their children, I think, very seriously, their family very seriously, who they love very seriously. And there is this sense of like protecting. But this also has to be emotional intelligence, having more inner control of your emotions. Because remember, with that Ace of Spades, they can explode, right? There could be intensity here and there could be selfishness here. But this King of Hearts is like, I love in such a big way, in such an honorable way that, I'm willing to, like emotionally grow and have more emotional power with the people, especially this being their cosmic moon, right? And the moon card that pushes them is the Queen of Clubs. So they're very much supported in trusting their intuition, really listening to their downloads and the messages, and also to be of service, right? That Queen of Clubs is a mother, a nurturer through knowledge, through information, through words, through teachings. So when they're really giving you advice, it's really coming from this powerful Queen of Clubs and like that strong intuitive, like really lean into their intuition. And the same thing, like trust what you feel with this King of Hearts. And then their transformation card is the King of Diamonds. The Ten of Spades is one of the most successful cards. They transform into big boss, big CEO, big business, big money, but again, they know what it takes. Like they're willing to put in the work. They're willing to work 17 hours a day to get to this King of Diamonds, to get to the money, to get to the bag, whatever you want to call it, right? But again, with making sure we're not sacrificing our relationships, making sure we're opening up our heart, making sure we're allowing love and not just getting to the bag, right? Because again, yes, it's accomplishment. Yes, it feels good, but if there's no one to kind of like share it with, it can get lonely, right? But these are very, very powerful cards, with this King of Diamonds being the transformation card, and really, again, kind of taking that financial bull by the reins, being in charge, making brilliant business decisions, and really like building a castle, building something strong, building something solid, and building something successful. So collectively, what are you building this week? What are you working on this week? How much effort and how much drive and how much passion do you have into having that success? And what are you willing to do to get to it without like obviously hurting relationships, but also like embracing both, finding that balance. Don't exhaust yourself. Don't go completely ham and it like wears you out and then you're overwhelmed. Try to find that balance. I know a lot of us are coming off like family and it's time to like get back to business, and that's great. It's a great energy for that, right? Definitely utilize this energy, but just be careful of exhausting yourself and overdoing yourself. I promise you, as long as you stay focused and you keep the plan and you keep the goals at the forefront, you will succeed, with this King of Diamonds being the transformation card. So with that, I hope it's an amazing week. I hope it's a powerful week. I hope it's a successful week. Utilize and take advantage of this energy. You can accomplish a lot. You'll see how strong you are. You can see how much you can overcome any obstacles that are thrown at you, because you have the power with this Ace of Spades in Mars. It's very driven. It's you, right? Look in the mirror. It's you. You're either stopping yourself or helping yourself. Either way, right? So enjoy this Ten of Spades week. I will talk to you next time. Bye for now. And peace.